Hi students, good morning. Today we are going to start our second chapter, that is biological classification. In the first chapter itself, we discussed about the importance of classification. Classification makes the study of organisms easy because you know large number of organisms are there. So it is not possible to study one by one. So classification is very important. So in this chapter, we will study about the details of classification, which are the different classes and who classified and on what basis they classified, all these things. Okay. And it was Aristotle who first tried to classify the organisms in a more scientific way. But he used only certain simple morphological characters. He classified plants under three categories like trees, shrubs, herbs, like that. Animals into two, those with the red blood and those without that. Later, Linnaeus introduced a two-kingdom classification. The two kingdoms were Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. It is a broad classification. The whole organisms classified under two categories, plants and animals. But you know, there are also many limitations. He didn't distinguish prokaryotes from eukaryotes, unicellular from multicellular, autotrophs from heterotrophs. So we cannot accept this thing. So later, R.H. Whittaker in 1969 introduced a five-kingdom classification. He used a certain criteria like cell structure, cell wall structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction, phylogenetic relationship, etc. Based on all these factors, he classified the whole organisms under five categories, five kingdoms. These five kingdoms are Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. Okay, these are the five kingdoms and proposed by R.H. Whittaker. Okay, now we can study the characters of each kingdom one by one. The first one is Kingdom Monera. It is exclusively for bacteria. The sole members, the main members of this kingdom are bacteria. And you know, bacteria are the most abundant microorganisms. They can live anywhere. Okay, everywhere we can see the bacteria. And based on the shape, bacteria are classified into the rod-shaped bacteria called Bacillus, spiral-shaped bacteria called Spirillum, coma-shaped bacteria called Vibrio, and spherical bacteria, round-shaped bacteria called Coccus. Okay, so Bacillus, Spirillum, Vibrio and Coccus. These are the different types of bacteria based on shape. Okay. Based on the mode of nutrition, there are two categories, Autotrophs and Heterotrophs. Okay, Autotrophic bacteria means they synthesize their own food. There may be of two types. Some are photosynthetic autotrophs and some others are chemosynthetic. Photosynthetic, photo means light. So photosynthetic autotrophs utilize light energy for ATP production, whereas chemosynthetic autotrophs utilize certain chemicals. Okay, that is the difference. And heterotrophic, you know, they cannot synthesize their food. They depend on other organisms. Okay, generally they are decomposers. Now, there is a special type of bacteria that is known as the archaebacteria. They are very special. They can live in any extreme environmental conditions like hot springs, salty areas, marshy areas, like that, any extreme condition. It is possible because of the presence of a special cell wall in their body. And the one archaebacteria called Methanogens, It normally present in the stomach of ruminant animals like cow, buffalo, etc. So they are methanogens. They can generate methane gas. That is why these dungs of these animals are used for generating methane gas. Okay, these are methanogens. These are special archaebacteria present in the stomach of ruminant animals which are used for generating methane gas. From the dungs of these animals we can generate methane gas. Okay. The next one is the true bacteria, that is eubacteria. They have a very rigid cell wall, and if it is motile, motile means movable, they have flagella also. Okay. And based on the mode of nutrition, eubacteria classified into, I already told, autotrophic bacteria and heterotrophic bacteria. Autotrophic includes photosynthetic autotroph and chemosynthetic autotroph. Photosynthetic autotroph, one example is cyanobacteria or blue-green algae. Okay, they carry chlorophyll A similar to higher plants so that they can synthesize food. And it is unicellular, filamentous or colonial, may be present in fresh water, marine water or in terrestrial habitat. And the body is covered with a gelatinous or a mucilaginous cover. And another important feature of the cyanobacteria is they can fix atmospheric nitrogen in a special cell called heterocyst. One example is nostoc. Anabina is another example of cyanobacteria. Okay. And chemosynthetic autotroph means they oxidize chemicals like nitrites, nitrates, etc. and the released energy is utilized for ATP production. Okay. And they play very important role in recycling the nutrients like sulfur, iron, nitrogen, phosphorus, etc. These are the two categories of autotrophic bacteria. Then heterotrophic bacteria, they are generally decomposers. They are not able to synthesize their food. Okay. Many bacteria are very useful to human beings. You know these things. Normally bacteria help to convert milk into curd. Many antibiotics are prepared using bacteria. It also helps to fix nitrogen in the leguminous plant. But at the same time, they are causing many diseases to both plants and animals. Cholera, typhoid, these are some of the diseases caused by this bacteria in animals. Citrus canker is an example of plant bacterial disease. Okay. And now we can check the mode of reproduction. They normally reproduce asexually by fission. But during unfavorable condition, they produce spores also. Spore formation is also there during unfavorable conditions. Okay. And a sort of sexual reproduction is also present in some bacteria. That is known as conjugation. Okay. Two bacteria come close to each other and they form a conjugation tube in between and transfer the DNA of one bacteria to another bacteria. It's a primitive form. Okay, primitive form of sexual reproduction. That also we can see in the bacteria. That is a sexual mode of reproduction. But generally they reproduce asexually. Okay. And have you heard about Mycoplasma? Yes, these are the smallest cell. Okay, and they don't have any cell wall. They can live even in the absence of oxygen, but they are pathogenic to plants and animals. Okay, that is all about the first kingdom, that is Kingdom Monera. The next kingdom is Kingdom Protista, that we can discuss in the next session. Okay, thank you.